She's messing around with me. We are live. And now the camera's shaking because our JC's laughing. Welcome tonight. We've got a fun night for you guys. We'll give you a couple of minutes here to log on and to be watching. This is week 3, and I'm hoping that at the end of maybe next week or the week after that, we can see you in person. I don't know if you noticed, but Alberta is rocking it when it comes to dropping the numbers. And so our numbers are coming down, so we cut them in half compared to what we were. So I am hopeful that we get to see you soon. We've got Mariah with us here tonight. And I need to also tell you this. I am messing up people's names all the time. So we are talking today about Caleb. If I say Cain, if I say Abel, if I say anything else, ignore me. I'm trying to say Caleb. I don't know what's up with my brain today, but I couldn't remember Mariah's name. I couldn't remember another youth leader. And yeah, so if I get the names wrong, forgive me. I have something weird going on today. Mariah, you have a joke for us today.
Yes, I do. So, why do watermelons have weddings?
Why do watermelons have weddings?
Yes.
I don't know why.
Because they cantaloupe.
Because they cantaloupe. Yes, they cantaloupe, so they have to have a wedding. I told that joke to my kids yesterday because I think you told that to Pastor Josh, and my kids did not get it. They're just like, they laughed really hard, and then Emmett's like, I don't get it. So I did tell them one. They're into frogs. Here's a frog joke. What do frogs do when you give them paper?
I have no clue.
Rip it, rip it, rip it.
That is a pretty good one.
They did get that one. Mariah, I'm going to ask Mariah random questions while we wait for you guys to get on. We're going to give you another minute. Mariah, can you tell us what the weather forecast is going to be for the next couple days?
Well, I think it keeps changing, but last time I checked, it's supposed to be like the 15 degree, slightly sunny for the long weekend is what I heard, so.
Okay. All right, sweet. And any world news that you know that's going on? I haven't told her any of this. I'm just trying to see what she can make up on the spot. I heard there's something really interesting going on in South Africa. What's going on in South Africa?
Oh, well, do you want the real story or
what? No, whatever you know. Whatever you. We're playing news anchor here, where we gave her no.
South Africa.
Yeah.
Well, it's so hot that people are sunburning their feet and they can't go to work, so it's all shut down. It's not COVID, it's all sunburn.
Super hot in South Africa here. People are burning their feet. Really original because Mariah burnt her feet on the weekend. She's got sunburnt toes.
Hard to see, but they were right there.
So, a little tip for you. If you're out this weekend, long weekend, and it's warm, not rainy, make sure you put sunscreen on your toes so you don't burn them. All right, thank you, Mariah. All right, you can go and get ready. We have got a fun night tonight. So the last 2 times it's been more lesson driven. This time we wanted to change it up, and I thought let's just play. So we're going to be doing some teach, but we're going to do some play in between, and we've got some fun things. We're going to mess around with the youth leaders. I got to be a little bit quiet so that they don't hear me. We've got something that'll be about halfway through, so make sure you're watching. Today we are talking about Caleb. So Caleb is a super famous guy in the Bible. He's known for one thing. He's known for being brave. This is just random information. If you look up Caleb, and if you're want to impress your parents, a little trivia that you learned from tonight, Caleb in Hebrew means dog. Weird fact. Caleb's name in the Bible means dog in the culture he grew up in. So if you were to be like, hey, what's up, dog? You'd be like, hey, what's up, Caleb? Yeah, Caleb, dog mean the same thing. You can impress your brothers, sisters with your little trivia there. Caleb, there's sort of 2 stories about him in the Bible, and both of them he's super brave in. The first time we run across Caleb in a significant way, you got to remember that they have come out of Egypt. So he's one of the people that he was a slave in Egypt, and they've all crossed the Red Sea. They were there for the plagues, and now they're on the other side. They've been hanging out there for a little bit. They built an altar. They sing a song, but they haven't been there super long. And they are. Moses says that he's going to send spies into Canaan, and so that's the modern day Israel, and that was the land that God promised them. And so Caleb is one of the 12 spies that they got sent. So he was probably famous in his clan. He was one of the tribes of Israel. So he's one of the brothers. Remember, there was 12 brothers. So he's not one of the brothers, but he's someone important in one of the clans. And so he gets picked to go. And so 12 of them go, and they explore all the way down what is modern-day Israel now. And they're looking for land. They're trying to figure out where's the best place to put crops. They're looking at the fruit, what it grows. And they're also trying to see if they can conquer this land. And so they all come back the first time we see Caleb, and they are reporting to Moses and to all the people, and 10 of the spies are just freaking out. Now you got to remember, they are slaves, so that's all they know. The last thing they were good at is getting hit and doing work. So that's their past. They're not warriors. They're not like strategic. They don't know how to conquer anything. And so 10 of the spies are freaking out because they're going, you know what, this land, there's lots of people. They're well defended. They're well trained. They got a big army. They got walls. And so how are we going to get over the walls? And then the thing that freaks them out most is that in that land, there were giants. So there were descendants from giants that lived there. And so their kids, they all grew up to be massive. So they're giants, and they're giant warriors. And so 10 of the spies are just like, they convince all of Israel to not attack. And that's when we see Caleb. And Caleb is going, he sees the exact same thing. And he's going, you know what? We got them. The 10 are telling the people, you know what? We don't dare try because we're going to for sure fail. And Caleb is telling the people, hey, we got to for sure try this because we can't but succeed. I'm sure God's going to get us through. So that's the first story we see about Cain. The second story is after they wandered the desert. We'll fast forward a little bit there. So everybody chickens out. They're not going to go into the promised land. So God is angry at them, and he says, I'm going to teach you. I need to teach you more before you will trust me. And so they wander the desert for 40 years. All of them die off, except Caleb, Joshua, Moses is still there right up to the end. And they are now conquering the promised land. 40 years has gone by, and we see another story about Caleb, and it's a super, super cool story. You can read it. I'll tell you where you can find it. It's in Joshua 14 and 15. So chapter 14 and 15, you'll get this story. And it's a story where Caleb has been helping all of the other tribes win their land. So they've been attacking and conquering different people and different sections of Canaan, which is Israel. And now it's his turn, and he's looking around, and he picks a hill country. He picks a hill country with a fortress, and he goes, you know what? That's the country I want to. This is the land I want for my people. And we're going to play a game because I want you guys to see what he's asking for when he says, hey, I want that land up there that's fortified. So we're going to play a game. It's going to be kind of like King of the Castle, where we have got, let's go this way. We have got our... who we got up there? We've got Ryan and we got Dan. They're going to be at the top of our mountain. You can just ignore the youth leaders. We got you guys can just stay here. So Dan and Ryan are up there. They are going to be the people defending the castle. Okay? All right, they come back down this way. And this is how this game works. They've got a whole lot of stuff there, and we're going to get youth leaders in pairs of 2. We got a crash mat here, so they're not going to get hopefully too hurt. But this is your guys' job. So Josh and Shayna, you guys are going to be going first. This is what you got to do. You've got 2 minutes. Okay? You are going to run upstairs. You're going to touch the table, and you're going to come back and touch the what do you call this? The crash mat. Okay? That counts as 1 point. Okay? So for every time you can come up, touch the table, and come back, you get 1 point. So we've got 4 teams going, and we're going to see who does the best. We've got Josh and Shayna. We've got these 2 here. We've got all these like dancers out there. So we're going to see how they do. So you guys ready?
Are we starting at this end of the mat or that end of the mat?
Let's start at that in the mat, but from then on you just have to touch the mat. Okay? So your job is to go. You're going to be like Caleb, and you're going after the high country. And I just want you guys to see, this is just a game, but I don't know if we get some sort of a picture of what Caleb would have had to done when he's brave enough to go, you know what, I want to conquer the land that is uphill and there's a castle at the top, or at least walls at the top. All right, so you guys ready?
Let's go!
You guys ready up there? Okay, and go! Okay, that's 1, 2. All right, you giants at the top of the hill, you can reset. You guys got to 6 points. All right, so that is the record so far. Can you carry the heavy stuff uphill? And then you guys can go wait in there so we don't have to get too many people in a room at the same time. All right, we'll reset here. All right, let's go meet our next 2 contestants. All right, so the next 2 of you guys can come.
Yes.
So you have a bit of an advantage. You saw how it went for them.
No.
So there's a glare on the window. Okay, so I told these guys, you got to start at the mat. You go up the hill, you touch the table, you come back, you touch the mat. That counts as 1 complete turn, you get 1 point. They got a total of 6, but now you can see there's balls all over the stairs. Okay? So you get 2 minutes, and you can start right up here, and you're going to be starting right quickly here. All right. Nimmarks, get set, go! Here, what's up? 1, 2.
Table.
You gotta touch it. 3, 4. One more minute, guys, 1 more minute. 8. Okay. So this is Catherine and Brooke. Catherine and Brooke, I told the rest of the crew what you're going to be doing is you're running up the stairs, and you got to go from the mattress, the crash mat, to touching the table, and then back, count for 1. Okay? The first crew got 6, the next crew got 8. Okay, so if you want to win, you got to get more than 8. If you don't want to be the losers, you got to beat 6. But I will tell you this: be careful. You want to pan over and show them the hill that they're playing on now? Alrighty. Okay, so things just got a little sketchy. You guys ready at the top?
Yeah.
Giants, you ready?
Yeah.
Alright. Are you 2 ready? On your marks, get set. Careful, don't fall. Go! Hang on to the railings. Go! 1, 2. 3, 4. They are rocking it. Hang on to the railings. That's 6. You still got 30 seconds. Oh, wow. 6. They're throwing boxes now. The 7. 8, 9. All right, time is up. Time's up. All right, stop. All righty. Okay, you guys can go wait in there. You don't have to get up the stairs. All right, so there's going to be a lot of squeaking as they go by. Can you guys go by so we don't have to hear all the noise? We'll get you guys to go past. There you go. All right. Okay. So hopefully you got some sort of a picture. I get that they didn't have balls and they didn't have tents and stuff like that to throw down at them. But you got to remember that these guys are fortified. They're ready for them to come, and they're throwing spears. They're shooting arrows. Just the challenge. When Caleb says, "You know what? I want to conquer the high country," the challenge that alone was crazy. The other thing the Bible tells us is that in that country, especially where he's picking, where Cable is picking, shoot, I forgot the name.
Caleb.
Caleb, there we go, is picking. is that's where most of the giants live. And then this is the cooler part. Caleb is 85 years old when he does this. I want you guys to imagine what that would be like. You saw all of our youth leaders running up and down the stairs. They're like in their 20s. All right, to give you sort of a picture of 85, I want you to think of Pastor Dan. All right, so Pastor Dan, I wish we would have got him to come. He was busy. You know what? He moves pretty quick. I don't think he's going to do super well on these stairs. But just so you know, Pastor Dan is sitting right around 65 years old. And he's already got a grandson. His grandson, I think, my guess is like 7 or 8. So in 20 years, when he's 85, there's a good chance that Pastor Dan is a great grandpa. And I want to imagine Pastor Dan when he's 20 years older than he is right now. He's 85. That's Caleb. So Caleb remains brave all his life. He sees the land when all he has is slaves to sort of attack, and he's brave. And when he's 85, he still picks the high country with the giants and the walls, because Caleb is a brave dude. We hear a story like Caleb and we go, I would love to be that brave. But the problem is in Caleb's story, it doesn't tell us how he got to be that way. And I called this talk, if you looked online, it's called 2 Steps to Becoming Braver. So before we get there, I think there's 2 steps that we can take. I'm going to steal these ideas from Jesus. I guess it's not stealing because he said we can use them. But we're just going to talk with the youth leaders about what is it that makes them lose their courage? What makes them lose their bravery? So let's go. They should be over here somewhere. All right. So Mariah, let's start with you. Mariah, can you give us when do you lose your bravery?
I say when I fear losing people that are closest to me.
All right, when do you lose your bravery?
When there is an unknown.
I find it hard to be brave when I have to do something that I've done in the past and it's gone poorly.
I find it really hard to be brave and confident when I have a job given to me that I'm not sure if I can do or if I'm capable for.
I find I lose my bravery when I think there's nothing to look forward to in my life.
I'm still dying from going up those stairs. But I lose my bravery when I focus on myself instead of the bigger picture or God.
I lose my bravery when I feel like I'm doing it on my own.
Alrighty, thank you, youth leaders. What I need you to do is we're going to get ready for the next activity, so I need everybody out behind the stage, way behind back there, okay? And we're going to walk this way so I can explain some things to you. So the very first thing that I think we can do, step 1, I get this from Jesus, and he says it in Matthew 10, verse 39. He says this, "If you cling to your life, you will lose it. But if you give up your life for me, you will find it." Now I know sometimes he's being literal there, where he's actually saying, if you're willing to die for me, you will find your life. But there's also a part of that is talking about our efforts and our general life, what we live for, what we desire, what we hope for. And he's saying, if you hope for your own self, you're going to lose that. But if you put your hope in me, you will gain things. One of those things will gain life. One of those things is bravery. So we are going to do an activity. Let's walk this way so they can't hear me. Alright, so I have not told the youth leaders about this, but this is what they're going to do. They're going to step on the board, and we are going to lift up the board just about 2 inches from the ground. Now they're going to be blindfolded, and I'm going to tell them that we're going to be lifting up the board higher. Now you'll see the 2 guys on either side holding the board. They are not going to be going up, but since they're blindfolded, I will be holding their hand with the oven mitt so we can be COVID conscious, and I am going to be going lower. Okay? Now this works 50% of the time. Right? So the reason it doesn't work is because there's not a lot of clues. So if they're not afraid, if they're not freaking out, they're going to pick up on the fact that this does not feel like they're going up. Right? So I'm going to ask them to step. You're going to see that some of them, if they're not that afraid, if they're not focused just on themselves, their senses would have told them this is a fake, this isn't real. But some of them, all right, if they're freaking out especially, if there's a lot of fear there, they are not going to pay attention to the little tiny things that your body would pick up that makes this tell you that this isn't real. Their fear is going to blind them. Right? And so what you're going to see them do is they're going to think that they're really high because they're holding my hand and I've gone lower. Right? So they're going to think they're really high. So when I tell them to step out, they're thinking they're 3-4 feet in the air. Okay? And I think it should be cool as they try and get the nerve to try and step out what that looks like. So that's what we're going to be doing. Sweet? All right. Let's head in there. Alrighty. Okay. Who's the first person you got out there? Hey, Brooke.
Yeah.
Come here.
I need you. Who's behind you? Dom. Okay. Brooke, I need you here. Dom, I need you here. Okay. Brooke, I need you to grab that green towel thing there. Fold it in half. Okay. You want to take your hat off there, Dom?
Let me guess.
Let's fold it in half.
Blindfold.
And you are going to blindfold Dom so that it's for sure covering everything so he can't see. All right. So go ahead and blindfold him.
I am a face of cloth.
Can you see anything, Dom?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
Call me Donatello, actually.
Okay. Very good. Thank you, Brooke. Okay. So now, Dom.
Yeah.
There we go. This is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna grab your hand with my oven mitt. Okay, and we're gonna step over these boards, and you're gonna climb on top of this beam here. Okay. Oh, there it is. Okay, can you step on that?
I am on it.
Okay, hang on to me for security.
Okay.
Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. Face me a little bit more. Okay. You wanna back it, like get your feet a little bit more positioned. What's going to happen is that we've got 2 youth leaders that are gonna pick up that beam. Okay?
Oh, fun. All right.
Okay? And this is what they're gonna pick up that beam, so get ready.
Yeah.
Go. Okay, now you're not up that high. Okay, you got your balance? I've got you here, you can use me for, okay?
Okay.
So this is what we're going to do. So they're gonna get repositioned a little bit. Okay? Alright, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna start lifting you a little bit higher. Okay? So just, you can keep balancing against me, so start lifting them up. There you go. Okay? Alright, you got your balance?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go a little bit higher. Okay, you still got your balance?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, now this is what I want you to do, Dom. I want you to take a step off of the board.
Okay. Right now.
Yeah, go.
Oh.
Okay, you can take his blindfold off. Okay, we need, who's the next person?
That was wild.
Who's next?
We are.
Okay, Mariah, it's Mariah.
Oh, I wanted a buddy.
Alright, Mariah. I forgot to tell this to Dom, so it's not super, like, I gave him an unfair, or, I'll just tell you what's going on. We're going to blindfold you, so, Brooke, you want to blindfold her? Then we're going to get you to stand on this beam, and then you're going to balance on this beam. Okay?
Oh, I really can't breathe now.
You want me to? No, you guys.
Mariah, can you see anything?
Nope.
Can't see anything. All right, so I'm going to grab you by your hand. I got an oven mitt on so that we're going to walk along. There we go. We're going to come close. We're going to step up on the board. You're about a foot away. Yeah, just keep reaching. There it is. There it is. Okay, now climb on top of that. Okay, let's get the camera here so they can see. All right, so I'm out of wind. I'm like breathing. How are you doing? You good balance?
I'm kind of clumsy, you know it, but
Okay. All right. So this is probably going to get a little bit harder for you, Mariah.
Okay.
Because what's going to happen is the guys are going to pick up the board. So they're just going to pick it up about an inch off the ground. Okay. So you see if you guys can balance there.
Okay.
Okay. You're now in the air.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now you balance.
Yeah.
So got you? You're good?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to start lifting you.
Okay.
Okay. So try and keep your balance as we go up. All right. So guys, we need to get repositioned. There we go. Okay. Just lift her slow. Keep your balance. Okay. All right, you got it? Just hang on to me. All right, now Mariah, How are you doing up there?
Good.
Okay. Now I want you to carefully step off.
Okay.
Alrighty, you can take that off.
Okay.
Okay, who's next?
Okay.
What do we got? Okay. We're gonna do 2 more. Okay, let's blindfold. Catherine, you wanna come here, Catherine? Okay, let's get her blindfolded. There we go. Okay, Catherine, how's your balance?
It's about to be tested.
It's about to be tested. You are correct.
Okay.
All right, so you're blindfolded. Can you see anything?
No.
All right, I'm going to grab your hand with my oven mitt so we're COVID safe. Okay, now what I want you to do is we're going to step forward onto this balance beam. So just careful stepping forward so you don't, there you go, it's raised down from there. You climb on that and get your balance. Okay, you got it?
Yeah.
Okay, so how is this for balance? Not too bad?
Not too bad.
Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to get the guys to lift it off the floor about 1 inch. Okay? Alright, you're just hovering above the floor. How are you doing?
Pretty good.
Okay, you got your balance? Okay, so now we're going to start lifting you. Okay, so we're going to start lifting you up. Just keep holding to my hand. You can just keep bouncing. There you go, a little bit higher, guys. Just keep bouncing on me. There you go. Just go slow with the up. Okay, alright. Okay, so Mariah, you're Catherine, you're a little bit higher up there. Okay, this is what I want you to do. You still have my hand, and I want you to step off. Alrighty, you can take that off. Okay, last one. Who's next? Mr. Josh.
Hi, it's me.
Josh is here. Can someone get Josh blindfolded? So, I don't know. Can you take your glasses off?
Yeah.
Okay. There you go.
That's my forehead.
Josh has got a high forehead.
I even duck down. You want me to do it myself? No.
No, because he'll cheat.
No, I won't. I'm not dishonest like that, Robert.
Okay. Oh, look, he's already peeling it so that he can. There you go.
Not see.
Can you see anything?
No, I can't even open my eyes.
Okay, I want you to grab my oven mitt here. No, not my face. No, other hand. There you go. I'm going to walk you over to this beam. Okay? Our guys are getting tired, but I want you to step up. Oh, there you go. Okay, now Josh, how's your balance?
Not great.
Not great? Okay.
But we'll see how I do.
I will be holding you here, so you can just use me for balance.
Sweet.
Okay, so what the guys are going to do is they are going to lift you up. First of all, it's just like 1 inch.
Okay.
So lift them up a bit.
Okay, buddy.
All right, that's a little bit more than 1 inch there. That was like 2 inches.
We're good.
Okay, you're good? Okay. So now what I want to do is, guys, I want you to slowly go up with him. Okay? Slowly go up, but don't let him lose his balance, so that way he's a little bit high. Okay? Okay, just keep bouncing on me, Josh. Okay? All right. Okay, Josh.
Hey.
How are you doing up there?
I am shaking like a leaf.
Okay, Josh, I want you to step or jump off.
Oh my god.
When you're ready to go. Alrighty.
You're so rude.
Okay, you can take off your blindfold. Okay, Josh, explain to us, if you just went, how many, Josh, did that fool you? Did we get you?
I was like actually physically dizzy and sweating.
Okay. The rest of you guys that we did any of you guys know that you were not high in the sky?
Yes.
You had to feel, okay, all right. So this is what I'm talking about, that there is a sense that you get because you sort of can sense it. If you're not freaking out, your body sort of figured it out, right? What was the clues that gave it away?
I honestly didn't think you would hurt me, so.
Okay, so you were safe?
I'm not that high off the ground, or if I fall, you'll catch me, so.
Okay, all right. What was the clues, Catherine, that made you feel like you probably were safer than you thought you were?
Both logic, because like, oh, you're probably just crouching down. And then there was a little twinge in your voice that gave it away.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, you're crouching.
All right.
I thought I was higher than that, but I also knew that like I wasn't going to be super high, so I just kind of assumed that he wouldn't launch me 6 feet in the air. So.
Okay. So you can hear the difference between Josh's experience and the other three is that Josh's fear made it so he isn't paying attention to the little details. So you can see that the other ones weren't as blinded by fear as Josh was. And I think this is Caleb's story. So when we see Jesus telling us to not cling to your life or not to worry about self-preservation, my guess is, because this is what you got to remember about the story, Caleb, Joshua, the other spies, they all went through the plagues. They were alive. They were right there, and it wasn't that long ago. And I think that the other 10 spies, when all the plagues are going through, so like the water turns to blood, there's all the bugs that come by, there's the frogs, there's the locusts, there's the sky that goes black. I think they're freaking out. They're just going, how do I get over this? What happens if that water doesn't turn back? What happens, like we can't drink blood. Like it's going to kill our crops, it's going to kill our cattle, it's going to wreck things. And I think they're spending all their time trying to figure out how are they going to make it. I think, I want to say Cain, I think Caleb was different. I think Caleb isn't so worried about himself. And this is why I think that, because when he comes back from spying, he remembers something. He remembers how powerful God was. Because he tells them, remember during the plagues, remember how we crossed the sea. He's not afraid because he noticed God's power. I don't think the rest of them did. My guess is Caleb was like when the water turns to blood, my guess is he's down there checking it. I think he's probably trying to figure out how does God do it when all the bugs come by, and he's trying to figure out like, how does, like, did God just make those bugs? And how did he clear them out? How does he make the sky black? Right? He's probably looking up trying to figure out, is it clouds? Did he actually stop the sun? Did he cover it? Like, how on earth does God do this? He's paying attention to different things than just, am I going to make it? So he notices that God is very, very powerful. I think it's the same thing when they cross the Red Sea. My guess is the other 10 are losing their minds. They're just freaking out because they're just worried that they're not going to make it. Remember, behind them is Pharaoh's army. My guess is they're looking back and they're freaking out about that. My guess is they're looking at the ocean next to them, and their one concern is, am I going to make it? Am I going to be safe? And so they miss the fact that God is doing something incredibly powerful around them. I think Cain probably would have been, Caleb would have been a little bit different. I don't know what he was doing. There's accounts of the land being dry. So someone must have been going slow enough to notice, hey, like it was literally wet. This was under the ocean, and now this is dry. This is under the sea. I don't know if Caleb is running his hand through the wall. I don't know if he's looking at the fish, if there was fish there. I don't know if he's looking at the sea urchins, but I think he's slowing down and he's going, I am walking in a miracle. He doesn't freak out. He's noticing God's power. So when it comes time to conquer the lands, he's not that afraid because he's like, my God can stack an ocean. My God can turn water to blood. My God can bring frogs and locusts and everything. I am positive that we can beat these people. It doesn't really matter how weak we are. It doesn't matter if we're slaves. We got this. So the first thing I think Caleb did is he had to get over himself. He had to put himself and notice something different. Okay, the second thing I think Caleb does, God would say it, or Jesus would say it this way, and it's in Matthew 6, verse 21. He would say this, he would say, for where your treasure is, your heart is also. Where your treasure is, your heart is also. So my second tip for you to be brave is you need to move your treasure. I get this from Caleb because the Bible says that he followed God with his whole heart. And now remember, Jesus said, where your heart is, that's where your treasure is. I think we'd be able to deduce that Caleb, his treasure was God. So if you look back through the stories, you see the 10 spies, they're worried about their treasure. They're worried about what they used to have. They're worried about their old way of life. And they've got so much to lose if things go wrong. It's hard to be brave when you've got your treasure in a place that you can lose it really easily. And I think that's the problem, is that it's not that they lack bravery, it's just that their treasure is in the wrong spot. And I think you can see Caleb with his treasure in a different place. I picture Caleb when he's 85 years old. His treasure is in following God. He can't wait to see what God's going to do next. So when he gets a chance to do something with God, Caleb is not just picking small, tiny things. He's 85 years old, and he's going like, I'm old for this. right? He's probably got great grandkids, but he's going, I want to see what God can do. He's got nothing to lose. His treasure is in what God can do. And so he picks the high country, and he picks the country that's got the fortress, and he picks the country that's got the giants. And that's the country he wants God to show himself in. So I think Caleb got two things about being brave. I think that's how he got to being brave. The first one is he got past himself long enough to notice that God was really powerful in his life. The second thing, he moved his treasure. He wasn't focused on the things of this world, but he was focusing on his relationship with God. And any excuse he had to do anything with God, that's what he wanted. That's where his heart was. That's what it means when he said he followed God with his whole heart, is that's where his desire was in following God. All right, so how do we apply this? How do you get braver? I think the first thing you can do is you can go to slow down and to go stop looking at yourself and worrying about the things that are going wrong in your world right now, and start looking a little bit bigger. So you will not realize the power God is showing all around you, just like I don't think the 10 spies noticed it, if you're worried about yourself. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to need to be convinced of is that you have a big God. It is really hard to be brave when you don't feel like you've got a big God. And you won't notice that God is brave and powerful if you're worrying about yourself all the time. So we have to get our focus off of us. The second thing is we got to lose where we put our treasure. If your treasure's in a spot that you can lose it, you will always not be a person that's brave. But if we move our life and we, like what Jesus said, so if our treasure, if we lose our life for his sake, we gain it. And I think that's what we're doing. We're moving our treasure to go, you know what, I care more about my walk with Jesus. I care more about my time spent with him than the things around me. I think it's really easy for us to be brave because we don't have anything to lose. We just have everything to win. All right, I want you to talk. I want you to listen to two youth leaders' stories about how this went down in their life. So, Josh, can you come in? Let's talk to you.
Yeah, so in my life, one of these moments where, Rob talked about having to get over ourselves or having to move our treasure. For me, in my life, I've had to look past my circumstance to see how God's been acting in it a few times. A recent time that's really significant is for me, so some of you guys might know this, some of you might not. I went to Bible school for 4 years to be a youth pastor. And what I do right now is not that. The year that I graduated Bible school, so 2019, 2 years ago, I spent that summer applying to every job I could find, interviewing at every church that would have me interview. I flew to other provinces, I did video calls, I did phone calls. I put hours and hours and hours into this because I thought that was for sure where God wanted me next, was he was going to put me in a church to be a full-time youth pastor. And by the end of the summer, I probably applied to over 12 churches, interviewed at 7, and got turned down by every single one. And I sat there at my parents' house, just wrecked, asking God, why the heck did you put me through this? Why is this turning out this way? I thought you wanted me to do this, and now I'm stuck at home doing nothing. I had no idea what God was doing. It was only when I stopped to pray, I stopped to go back to my habit of spending time with God in Scripture. It's when I stopped to ask mentors and wise people who were further down the road of faith than I was why God might have put me through that I started to see some of the why. That maybe God wanted to do something with this next season of my life. And what came out of that is actually a bunch of awesome opportunities. I started working at this coffee shop in Sylvan where I get to be a witness for Christ in the community through conversations, through relationships, through caring for people. I got to start working here actually in our children's ministry because of an opportunity that came up and people who believed in me. And I've gotten to grow in my passion for God, in my ministry skills, in my calling. I've got to build some awesome new friendships, some awesome relationships. I've learned a lot, even though that learning hasn't all been easy over these last 2 years, because God had a different plan for my life than what I thought it was, and I had to take the time to see what he was doing rather than focusing on my hurts.
So you can see in Josh's life, as he's focused on his hurt, he misses what God is able to do. And it's when he gets off of that focus, he starts to see that he actually has a God who is out for his best and is working cool things, and it's easier for him to be brave. Let's go talk to Mariah. No. Yeah, Mariah.
You got it. Hi guys. So for me, similar kind of story with like what Josh was sharing is about 2 years ago I joined youth, and it was not my intentions to join youth. I was kind of had the nudging from God over the years where he was like kind of, you know, putting that out to me, and I was just like, no, I can't do this. I gotta, you know, share, be vulnerable in front of people, share things about myself. I'm the kind of person where if I get like nervous or anything, I get super emotional. And so I was like, I can't let anybody see that side of me. And so yeah, being vulnerable was like terrifying for me. And so I just did not want to do it. And then one day a friend had said, hey, you should join. And he's like, I talked to the youth pastor. You can come this night, come check it out. I was like, oh shoot, well, I guess I'm gonna go check out youth. And it was just such a neat opportunity. The crew was like so welcoming. And the person that was doing the debriefing ended up sharing some really personal story that then we had to all share about our own personal stories. And of course it was like my biggest fears of like being vulnerable and yeah, emotional in front of people. It all came out and I was like, okay, God, well, we got that over. I guess this is where you want me to be. I'm gonna give this a shot. And it's just been neat to see since joining youth just how God has used that particular environment for me, how he has grown me a ton in my faith and like witnessing to other people and just being more vulnerable with friendships and like all kinds of people in my life, not just in youth. And not only have I had really neat opportunities to have cool conversations with kids that I know I would have never had if I hadn't joined youth, but it's also even stemmed from my workplace because every Wednesday or Thursday when I was serving at youth, I'd change out work into my normal clothes out of my scrubs, and my coworkers would always be like, oh, Mariah, where are you going tonight? And so I'd be like, youth, and they're like, oh, what's youth? Because I don't work with Christian people. And so I kind of explained that I was at my church, I work with the kids, and kind of explained a bit. So as I was doing this more and more, they started asking me like, oh, what do you do at youth? What do you guys teach? And then just through COVID, things that have come up where all of a sudden at work people are asking me, oh, Mariah, you're a Bible person, you go to church, like what's your opinion on this, or you know, what does the Bible say? And it's been so cool just the opportunities that God has given me to share my faith with my coworkers, where it wasn't like, okay, Mariah, we're going to be brave here and we're going to go spread the gospel at work. It was just like them asking me, and it was like, wow, God, this is so cool. I didn't even bring this up, you just made this happen for me. And so yeah, it's just been cool to see how God has used something that I was afraid to join to make such an impact in my own personal life, and then also in kids' lives, and also in my coworkers' lives and people that don't know God.
So you can hear it in Mariah's life that she's gaining this trust as she walks with God. She walked with God in a small way, and he was there, and it worked out. And she's getting braver as she goes along. The courage is growing, even though she's telling you she's not necessarily trying to be brave. It's not because she's trying to like amp herself up. It's that she's moving what she desires. She desires God, and you know what? Everything else becomes less fearful. And that's sort of the second point we were trying to make of what Caleb is doing, is when he's looking after trying to get close to God or get experiences with God, the other stuff becomes less fearful. He's not trying to be a person that's massively brave. He just walks with a God that he wants to be with and a God that he trusts, and so it's easy for him to be brave. So I hope Caleb's life is able to teach you something. I hope Jesus' breakdown of how we get brave is able to teach you something. We're going to go to Dom, and he's going to pray for us in closing.
Hey guys, yeah, thanks for joining us. I'm just going to quickly end off in prayer. So if you'd like to join me, that'd be great. So dear Lord Heavenly Father, I thank you for just another Wednesday where we'd be able to, just gather and hopefully share some good stories with anyone who watches, Lord. And I pray that you'd continue to use Caleb's life as a great example for us, just to constantly walk with you without fear of anything else, Lord, especially in time right now. So I pray that you'd be with all of us leaders and all the students out there. In Jesus' name, amen. Until next time, I'll see you later.
Bye. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye. See you later, guys.
Bye! Bye guys, see you next week.
Later, alligator.
All right, we'll see you guys hopefully next week.